of us. They're so scared. And the Iranians are like, yeah, we're so scared. Here, watch this. They're literally like, yep, catch this, bitch. Every fucking time. It's so wild. Like, especially considering that this inconsistency seemingly doesn't have a negative, volatile impact on the markets, right? Like, they might as well just stop fighting. They might as well just stop fighting. They might as well retreat and then just lie about it. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with, it has nothing to do with like whatever is happening on the ground anyway. So you might as well just be like, yep, we're still blowing up Iran. Just keep saying that. And then Iran is so terrified. Any day now, any day, the Iranian government will be toppled. You know? Because like the markets are so desperate for stability that they are just inventing stability. They literally are just making it up. There is no stability right now, none whatsoever, right? It is the most volatile, most insane market manipulation I've ever encountered. And the only time where it was this insane was the last time Donald Trump did the fucking Liberation Day shit. So obviously, yeah, I brought this up, but as far as the market manipulation, yeah, I said they're raping the land and pillaging everyone else in the process. Unbelievable. Financial Times exclusive. Traders made bets worth $500 million in the oil market about 15 minutes before Donald Trump's post touting productive talks with Iran sent the price of crude tumbling. If we had a functioning SEC, this would be a problem, except we don't. And this has to be someone in the Trump family, by the way. There is 0% chance that even like a general or someone else in the fucking room would engage in this. Like it has to be directly related to him, right? Like directly. It's unfucking believable how transparent this market manipulation and insider trading is. And yet, crime is legal. What are you supposed to do? Traders made bets worth $500 million in the oil markets 15 minutes before Donald Trump's post touting productive talks with Iran sent the price of crude tumbling and ignited volatility in other assets. Roughly 6,200 Brent and West Texas Intermediate futures contracts changed hands between 6:49 a.m. and 6:50 a.m. New York Times on Monday. Just a quarter of an hour ahead of U.S. President's post on Truth Social that there had been, in recent days, productive conversations with Tehran to end the war in Iran. The notional value of these trades was $580 million, according to Financial Times calculations based on Bloomberg data. Trading volumes for Brent and WTI leapt at the same time, 27 seconds before 6:50 a.m. Futures tracking the S&P 500 share index jumped in price moments after the oil trade, with volumes also rising significantly during that time frame. It was not known whether one entity or several entities were behind Monday's trades. Trump's announcement at 7:04 a.m. Oh, Sky News covered it.
Normally, in these screens, in the last few weeks, we've been talking about the economic implications of the Iran war. But this time I want to talk about something else. It's kind of a mystery story. It's a mystery.
Is it a mystery story? Wow, I wonder who did it. Who did the murder? It can't be the guy with the bloody knife in his hand, right? Guys, there was a knife attack. Who could it have been?
Story. The mystery
Very suspicious.
Begins.
Someone said Taryn Brump.
With this. This was the Donald Trump social media post, Truth Social, that for a lot of people made them think that maybe this war might be coming to an end. At the very least, it had a big impact on markets. And
I think what's funny about this also is that Trump has presented himself as an unreliable narrator of events regardless. So the markets are also engaging in this like idiocy by treating his statements like any other president. Okay? So there's that element here as well. Like the market stabilizing after this this revelation is also stupid in and of itself. It's so stupid. Like there is a lot of wish casting here where there's a lot of people who know that this is bullshit, but they play along with it. They play along with it because, you know, it's more beneficial. There is no more market fundamentals at play here, like not even a little bit. Trump's decision to postpone the Hormuz ultimatum was aimed in part at calming markets, according to people familiar with the matter. The markets only have eyes for Truth Social posts.
The thing I want you to focus on is not necessarily the text of this, but it's the time it came out. 11:05, that's UK time. So 11:05 in the UK, it was morning.
They're just making short-term gains. The same people who stabilize the market will be the ones driving the sell-off next week. Yeah. It's a bunch of fucking corrupt vultures. Yeah, the markets are really scared, so they take any news as good news, but it's total cope. I mean, we saw this happen already. That's why I kept saying money is the most fake it's ever been, and tomorrow it's going to be even faker. Okay? We saw this with the Liberation Day saga. We experienced this with the Liberation Day saga, where Donald Trump came in and said, we're doing blanket tariffs on every country on the fucking planet for no reason. Right? And the moment that there was any sort of respite from this idiocy, the markets were like, oh, thank God. $7 trillion in value wiped out, and then $7 trillion in value materialized once again. It's like, come on, man. You cannot have a normal system like this. And every single one of these instances where Trump insiders are the only ones who are capable of making these decisions because they're operating with insider information, like you end up unironically consolidating insane amounts of wealth in the hands of an even smaller amount of people. That's all this is. Where will this go? Will this go to a future where there's like 10 trillionaires and then everyone else is fucking broke and dying on the streets? Like, is that what we're going to do? Is that a world that you want to live in anyway? I don't understand it.
Earlier in the morning in the US, obviously. And look at the impact that this had, okay? So this is showing you the crude oil price. It's the US kind of benchmark of the crude oil price, WTI as it's known. And you can probably spot already the moment
TikTok
that Donald
propping
Trump
off.
post
Oh, yeah.
happened. The oil price went down really sharply. And we've had lots of ups and downs, lots of volatile days on markets in recent days.
I should post that on my IG.
Was something else. As traders went out there and they basically said, we're selling oil because we think that things might get a little bit better. But here's what I want to focus on that you don't normally see in these charts. Not just the price, so that's the oil price, but the volumes. You can actually look at this. You can look at just how many people are buying and selling at any given moment. And have a look at volumes. So these bars are showing you the volumes. So at the given moment that obviously that Donald Trump post happened, you had this massive increase in a lot of people going out there into the market and say, look, something's happening. We need to actually act on it. For the most case, selling at this point. But here's the curious thing, and here's kind of where the mystery is. I want to kind of zoom in on this area here. So I'll kind of zoom in so you can see. This is just the volumes of people going into that oil market and kind of, for the most part, selling after that Donald Trump post. You can see there's...
By the way, this is just pure, like, this is futures. This is a futures market, right? There's also the motherfucking poly market bets, too. Like, every part of this is bunk. And once again, you can't even prosecute poly market, even though there's very clearly insider trading taking place. And you might ask the question, why? And that's because Donald Trump Jr. is sitting on the regulatory board, and that's not going to happen anyway. You are pocket watching and jealous. I just don't understand how this is seen as a sustainable system and how so many motherfuckers are just like sitting around thinking, it's fine. It'll be fine. So it'll fix itself. Or better yet, they're just completely oblivious. Like life goes on for them. They just don't think about it at all. I don't understand how you can live like this. Before the war started, WTI oil was $60, $65. War starts, goes up to 100, and then it goes down to 90. The market acts like everything is amazing, despite the fact that the price is still $25 to $30 higher than in February. Same thing happened with the tariffs. Tariffs shit apart, then gained back a quarter of it, and the market acts like things are better than ever. Yeah. By the way, this is literally the Trump method. I described this during Liberation Day, and even before then, I saw this in Trump 1 as well. He breaks things 100%, then claws it back to like 50%, and everybody goes, "Oh, we got 50% liberated." He molests things, and then scales back the molestation, and then everyone goes, "Oh, thank God, we're saved." It's fucking ridiculous. The money is still 50% molested in that process. It's a classic Trump bargain. He does this all the fucking time. New York Times says there's a 15-plan point to end the war. U.S. has sent Iran a 15-point plan to end the war in the Middle East. Oh, my lordy. I've tried many times to understand the stock market, but I can't. Can you explain what this exactly means? What do you mean this is not real money? I want to know so I can fight my cynic liberal boyfriend on this. I don't know how to explain it. Stocks that are traded on the stock market are supposed to be traded on fundamentals, like market fundamentals. Like in the past, when a company had new technology, okay, their stock prices increased. They had a more valuable product. It doesn't work that way anymore. Everything is financial engineering. It's not anchored around anything but speculation. And given the market consolidation that has taken place in the stock market as well, where 90% of the stock market is owned by the top 10% of earners in the country, the top 10% of wealth in this country, there's tremendous consolidation. So there's like markets move in a certain direction very quickly. It's not democratized at all. It's not like, $1, one vote. It's not a system like that. And because it's sometimes three companies owning 70% of the gains, for example, and other times it's like all of the money is in the hands of the wealthiest people. It's in their vested interest to keep up with this lie. Like one of the examples I used to use was the Tesla valuations, right? Tesla became such a behemoth with so many institutions closely tied to Tesla's success that anytime Elon Musk lied, right, and then was shown to be a liar over and over again, people just kind of went along with the lie because they had a vested interest in the Tesla stock prices going up because they'd bought into it. That's part of the reason why I always say the way the stock market works is if it's doing well, it's not doing well for you necessarily. You might think so because you have a 401k. This makes the average working class individual think that they have a stake in the stock market doing well, but it's not actually doing well for you at all. The gains you're making are marginal. It's inconsequential. But when it's doing poorly, that's when you actually suffer because you see job losses, right? You see scale backs in our productive output. The gains are privatized and the losses are socialized. Stocks are real money, as in you can cash it out at any time, but increasingly the value of companies is not actually based in their intrinsic value, profits, assets, innovation, etc., but based on hype. It always has been to an extent, but it's gotten worse, especially if 401ks take up a huge market shares and just sit there. The state has propped it up, and normal people are trading now. I don't necessarily think it's because of retail traders that the stock market is so unbelievably busted. I don't think it's true at all. I think it's the exact opposite. I think it's the consolidation of ownership of most stocks in the hands of a select few institutional traders that has created this system. I think that it's actually the institutional traders as opposed to the retail traders that are the reason why the stocks are not reliable at all. I mean, they're not based around the fundamentals that they were supposed to theoretically be in. Stay in your lane, bro. Stocky. I mean, again, this is not my forte at all. This is not my area of expertise at all. I don't even fucking own stocks, as you guys know, famously. So I could be totally off base here, but this is just the way I see it. That's why I say money is fake. It's fucking, I'm too stupid to understand it, but it just like feels so fake to me. The thing about retail traders is the institutional traders now follow their expectations of what retail traders will do. So it's kind of both at once. I think there is a vested interest in the stock market constantly being in a fucking bull market. That's what it is. Whether retail traders are actually, movers and shakers at all doesn't really matter. I think that it's more so that everyone involved in the stock market assumes that it's always going to grow. Okay? Stock always goes up. And the government has actually done everything in its fucking power to make sure that the stock market is always going up. And that's like what Donald Trump does. That's what Donald Trump's big thing is, right? He's the most responsive to market moves. If you want to take him out, just destroy the stock market. Now, the problem here, bro, you're right. The market is determined by the movements in it. If few people hold the most stocks and they can make it look however they want to, that's what I think is going on. I don't think it's like retail traders that are going, oh, Donald Trump on Truth Social said that, a deal is imminent. I think it's actually the institutional traders that control a large share of the stock market that go, oh, thank God. And the only reason why they do that is because they have a vested interest in the stock market stabilizing. A company like SpaceX has no reason to IPO at over $1 trillion, given its assets like $50 billion total, but retail traders are extremely excited about it, so it'll likely be valued at 1.2 to 1.5 trillion. It's just one part of the puzzle, though. Yeah, retail is like 10% of stocks is true. I don't think it's I don't think they're moving they're moving the markets at all. I think they have the capacity to, like with what we saw with GameStop, right? They sometimes have the capacity to, but they don't have the fucking necessary volume to move the markets in the way that like institutional traders can. I just don't. The real money makers are making the banks with the making bank with the volatility. Most bank on it. They buy futures in the hold, and in the hold, the price will go up. Most average people's exposure in the market is passively through a 401k or IRA accounts, and typically those are against some kind of index like the S&P 500. The market is propped up right now by the tech sector, and so much of that hinges on AI hype. Mind you, 80% of U.S. jobs are in services, which AI companies claim they want to automate. Very cool. Yeah, something's got to give. I mean, the contradictions that exist with the only indicator that the economy is doing well by people in positions of power, stock market doing well, is unironically having the exact opposite effect on the real economy, the economy that you think of when you think of the economy doing well for the average, ordinary, working class individuals. Like it has a depressive aspect on regular working class folks, but the stock market is doing well. So all the fucking money holders, all the real power brokers, they think the stock market is doing well. So Trump's job performance is fine, right? It's doing all right, especially if they're close to Donald Trump. The closer they are, the more they can make these sorts of shady trades. We're saying goodbye to the Sora app. To everyone who created with Sora, shared it, and built community around it, thank you. What you made with Sora mattered, and we know this news is disappointing. Oh, no. We'll share more soon, including timelines for the app and API and details on preserving your work, the Sora team. No. No. Not the Sora app. Not my Sora. Cause exit liquidity is always assured for these fucks in the form of 401ks. The problem is backlash from said exit would make it so that the slush fund of 401ks would go away from the inevitable regulation Glass-Steagall 2.0 or worse, so everything must be propped up at all costs. No, not my AI slop, dude. What the fuck? Anyway, let's
There's
continue.
real spike in activity. A lot of people going in there, kind of this frenzy, and that's the kind of flip side of prices. But look at this. 15 minutes before that Donald Trump post, there was a very big amount of trading volume. Very big. In fact, actually, when you're looking at that amount of volume, that spike, that was the biggest trading volume that we saw that day. We're starting here just at 8 o'clock in the morning. We're going through to that moment of the Donald Trump post. Relatively quiet volumes, not much going on in the market, and then all of a sudden that. And if you're wondering, okay, maybe this was just a one-off, it was someone who made a lucky bet. Have a look not just at this. So this is WTI, it's one measure, the US measure of oil. Have a look at Brent, which is the kind of the European, seen as the international measure of oil. Again, the same thing. Donald Trump makes his post, flurry of activity, lots of people there. But look at that. Again, 15 minutes before that Donald Trump post, a very big trade. Now, it's unclear whether it's just an individual or whether it's a kind of group of people, but what you do know from just imputing what the potential value, the notional value of those trades just on oil would be, it is staggering amounts of money, life-changing amounts of money, $580 million. Someone has just made a real killing on this. And it's not just oil. So that's oil, two different measures of oil. But now have a look at the S&P 500. So this is S&P 500 futures. It's the biggest kind of exchange, stock market, equity market in the world. Same thing again. Donald Trump posts, the price goes up because people are getting very hopeful. Volumes go up at the same time. And if we zoom into the volumes, once again, what do you see? Obviously, there's the volume after Donald Trump made his post, but 15 minutes before, this is actually 10:50 UK time, a very, very big trade. As I say, life-changing amounts of money, hundreds of millions of dollars were potentially made in those moments in this curious trade that seemed to come out of nowhere, leaving a lot of people wondering, was this just luck? Or did someone actually know what the president was about to say?
Yeah, I wonder what it was, guys. How curious. 15-point document revealed. 15-point document demands no material to be enriched on Iranian soil. Channel 12, citing source. U.S. 15-point demands enrichment plants of Natanz, Isfahan, and Fordow to be decommissioned. 15-point document demands Iran stop funding proxies in the region. 15-point document demands free maritime